Oh, I can do anything, 'cause I know nothing. Lack of experience never stopped me. I got a TV show, though I'm just bluffing. Make believe you're watching and I know you'll agree. The Patrick Show is all my imagination. Because my head is empty, I can fill it with cheese. Ice cream with syrup and marbles and bloopers. There's just one thing I can't find, and that is my keys. Oh yeah. So, viewers, attention gang. I'm here to talk to you today about something really amazing that happened on the Patrick Star Show yesterday. Yeah, I was watching a new episode of the Patrick Star Show broadcast live on the Nickelodeon cable channel because I firmly believe that streaming services should not be allowed to phase out traditionally broadcast cable channels, and 3D animations and films should also not phase out 2D animation, which is why we all want Walt Disney Animation Studios to work on traditionally animated hand-drawn films again. And not let the financial unsuccess of Treasure Planet discourage them forever and ever. Especially when computers have developed new techniques for 2D animation, such as rigging character models for that 2D animation in television has found really good use for, like in Hilda and the Owl House, but not in the Fairly Otter Parents. Oh yeah. So back to the Patrick Star Show. Pearl Wants to Be a Star. It was when I watched Pearl Wants to Be a Star yesterday at 7 p.m. it was really big and amazing news to me because Squidina's first appearance in SpongeBob, the first of her 2 appearances in SpongeBob SquarePants in the 12 seasons and 270 episodes that we got before the Patrick Star Show, which, yes, also counts the first 3 episodes of season 13. Yeah, Squidina's first appearance, Goons on the Moon. Well, yeah, Patrick didn't appear in Goons on the Moon, but other major characters of SpongeBob that did appear in Goons on the Moon with Squidina are SpongeBob, Sandy, Pearl, and Squidward. And the animated Santa Claus from that episode, played by Louis Black, he got to voice the Santa Claus from that episode again in the Camp Coral episode. Ho, ho, horror! So, from what we know about Squidina during her introduction in Goons on the Moon, we've never seen her with Sandy or SpongeBob before this episode. So, when Sandy is taking SpongeBob, Pearl, and Squidina on a field trip to the moon, we can just assume that Squidina is just one of Pearl's friends who is half her age, right? Because Pearl is 16 years old and Squidina is 8 years old. Yeah, Squidina and Pearl are, I guess they were vitriolic best buds in Goons on the Moon, and it's a shame we haven't really seen Squidina with Pearl again since then in any later SpongeBob episodes featuring Pearl, Sandy, or SpongeBob. But in the Patrick Star Show, which I guess might be a parallel universe of SpongeBob because the flowers in the sky look different, and they'll just star drawn like crayons, and because SpongeBob, Squidward, Pearl, and some other characters dress a bit differently than they did, and so different looks that they had in the original SpongeBob. Yeah, and Pearl's room is different too. But yeah, the exterior of Mr. Krabs' house and the Chumbuck are still the same. Yeah, in Pearl Wants to Be a Star. Yeah, I thought it was a really amazing episode because right from the get-go, I was excited to see Pearl and Squidina on screen together again 3 years after Goons on the Moon. You know, Mr. Eugene Krabs and Pearl Krabs were going to visit the Star family in their house, which had like a coffee pot. I mean, I thought it was a teapot before, but it's actually a coffee pot. It really looks more like that, And yeah, so they go from there. The Krabses leave their Anger house and visit the coffee pot house, which is the main setting of the Patrick Star Show. So, yeah, in the subplot, Mr. Krabs is playing cards and other competitions with. Mr. Krabs is playing games. Mr. Krabs is playing some friendly competitive games with Grandpat Star, and they argue over who is a stronger player. Mr. Krabs is it's Mr. Krabs served in the Navy and Grandpat served in the Marines, which is a different branch of the Navy, right? And it was really funny how they played 3 different games, and Mr. Krabs is winning every time. He keeps winning stuff from Grandpat, and yeah, it was really fun and funny to see Mr. Krabs and Grandpat bicker about argue about whether the Navy or the Marine was better, and Mr. Krabs was just too good at all the games and winning the challenges to which Grandpat was challenging him. And and it was really refreshing to see a Patrick episode. It was really refreshing to see an episode of the Patrick Star Show focused on Mr. Krabs. I mean, I know it wasn't a SpongeBob episode this time, but still, it was pretty good it was really refreshing to have a story focusing on Mr. Krabs, where he isn't constantly talking about money. I don't think you ever even heard him or Bill mention that word once in this episode. But yeah, this was I really liked the storylines that the Patrick Star Show gave Mr. Krabs and Pearl Krabs, and it was loads better than the short appearance that each of them had in the yard sale. One of the Patrick Star Show's main running gags is the Grandpat Star talking about all of his backstories of all the different experiences he's had through history, like the ice cream prohibition and enemies all mode, and how he hunted for breakfast in prehistoric times with the dinosaurs. And the yard sale is a whole episode dedicated to Grandpat's pastimes, and Grandpat is heavily implied to be immortal since he's billions of years older than he looks because he's been alive since the beginning of time, essentially. And he's even already lived, and the yard sale takes up to 11 when it turns out he's even lived through the future, or somehow also being back in time, in the present time of the Patrick Star Show, I guess. Grandpa's infinity years old. So in the main plot of Pearl Wants to Be a Star, which maybe an unintentional pun because of the star, or intentional pun because, because of Patrick Star. Yeah, I mean, the main plot of Pearl Wants to Be a Star. Squidina is giving Pearl a guest appearance on the. Squidina is giving her good friend Pearl a guest appearance on the Patrick Star show, and Pearl gets to act in front of their live neighborhood audience, in their television-shaped window, while Patrick is taking a short break between acts. But unfortunately, nobody's amused by Pearl's different skits until she starts singing a sad whale song that turns into a happy song. That was really funny. I was really happy for Pearl to finally win over the admiration of Patrick Star's audience. And for Mr. Krabs to best that crankly old Grandpa Marine Starfish, Grandpat, who's in spite of Grandpat being as old as time itself. So all in all, Pearl Wants to Be a Star was a pretty good episode of the Patrick Show, focused on Mr. Krabs and Pearl Krabs, where they both earn their happy ending. And I actually don't mind that. It's actually okay with me. It's actually quite alright for the Patrick Star Show to occasionally have lots of different characters we know from the original SpongeBob. As long as they're spaced out in between enough, it's okay with me for the Patrick Star Show to have some episodes focusing on other characters that we know from SpongeBob SquarePants, right? Like how Bummer Jobs is focused on SpongeBob and Squidward, and Sandy also, SpongeBob, Sandy, and Squidward are also welcome to visit in Patathon, and Larry Lobster was in Lost in Couch. Perch Perkins appears in Lost in Couch and Patathon, and Plankton and Squidward both appeared in Treasure Till Late for Breakfast. The Flying Dutchman and Squidward both appear in The Haunting of Star House, and Man Ray we got to see SpongeBob again in Who's a Big Boy? And Gary goes. Can't forget, Gary. SpongeBob brought Gary to the Snail-thon. And just last week, I also got to see X Marks the Pot, which was about Man Ray trying to find his secret lair underneath Patrick's house. That was kind of funny how they did a SpongeBob episode. How they did a Patrick episode with, Man Ray, kind of iconic Man and Barnacle going. And next week, the Patrick Star Show is going to have another Patrick episode focusing on SpongeBob, in which Patrick and SpongeBob go back in time to see their Merry Man and Barnacle Boy heroes when they were young. So, I'd really like to see how that plays out. And I hope Squidina also gets to be included in a time travel adventure. Plus, the Patrick Star Show has a time closet, which used in some episodes to travel backwards or forwards to any time they want in Who's a Big Boy, Bunny the Barbarian, and Just in Time for Christmas. So, I'd really like to see how Patrick, Squidina, and SpongeBob use that in next week's episode. But yeah, because the SpongeBob team at United Plankton is too busy working on Camp Coral and the Patrick Star Show right now, I think and we probably won't be seeing any new episodes of the original SpongeBob's 13th season for another year. I think it's nice that they still get to, that the SpongeBob's voice actors still get to play their characters in occasional episodes of the Patrick Star Show while they're waiting for season 13 for work on season 13 to continue. And they're stuck with, I know they're stuck with Camp Coral at the same time. Well, that's all I have to say about the Patrick Star Show. What did you think of Pearl Wants to Be a Star? Did you like to see... What did you think of Pearl Wants to Be a Star, like Squidina and Patrick? Did you like getting to see Pearl and Squidina interact again for the first time in 3 years since Squidina's first appearance in SpongeBob SquarePants? I know I certainly enjoyed it, and I'm also really happy for Pearl because in the end, she did get to be a star, like Patrick Star and Squidina Star. That's all, folks. I mean, that's all, gang.